Guys, welcome back to my channel. In fact, you guys should welcome me because I am back after a long time. So let's start with our today's video, COLREGS Rule 2. I'm purposefully taking this topic because it is considered as the most confusing topic in COLREGS because we don't know when to use Rule 2. So let us get into it and let us solve the mystery of Rule 2 COLREGS. Let us see what all it has, and it's going to be the best video because I'm making it. So let's go ahead. So COLREGS Rule 2 responsibility. The first part says, the paragraph 1 says, nothing in this rule shall exonerate any vessel. As you can see, the word exonerate, everyone gets fumbled upon this word exonerate. So let us understand what is exonerate meaning. So as per the dictionary, exonerate means absolve someone from blame for a fault or wrongdoing, or in other words you can say release someone from. So that is what is meaning by exonerate, or you can also tell as pardon. So nothing in these rules shall pardon or absolve or release someone, and that someone is nothing but a vessel, any vessel, or the owner, master, or crew. As you can see here, it is not only vessel, they have also included the owner, master, or crew from thereof from the consequences of any neglect to comply with these rules, or of the neglect of any precaution which may be required by the ordinary practice of seamen or by the special circumstance of the case. So the owner here cannot say that it was the navigator's fault, the navigators didn't navigate the vessel properly. It is the owner's fault also. How? Because the owner has the responsibility to conduct periodic navigation audits, and he has to ensure that the navigators are following COLREGS. Same goes with master. Master on board, he conducts surprise VDR backups, and there are also quarterly navigation audits which are being conducted. These all are basically to empower or to enforce that all the navigators are following COLREGS. So that is why this rule is not only holding responsible for the vessel but also the owners, master, or crew thereof from the consequences of any neglect. So as you can see here, to by heart this rule, we have a acronym, that is vessel V and owner O, master M, and crew C. So if you want to by heart this, you can remember this acronym to by heart this rule, VOMC. Now as you can see here, there are uh, words two words the same, having same meaning, that is neglect. As you can see here, first part says from the consequences of any neglect to comply with these rules, and the second part says or of the neglect of any precaution which may be required by the ordinary practice of seamen or by the special circumstance of the case. So this rule will not exonerate if you neglect to comply with this rule. This is very clear. Now the second part says this rule will not, this rule basically will not release, or it will hold you responsible if you neglect any precaution which may be required by the ordinary practice of seamen or by the special circumstances of the case. So to understand this second part, let us go deep into what does ordinary practice of seamen or by the special circumstance of the case means. So this term basically, precaution which may be required by the ordinary practice of seamen or by the special circumstances of the case. In short, if you ask me what is ordinary practice of seamen, I will say ordinary practice of seamen means use of common sense. Now to understand this ordinary practice of seamen, we have few examples to understand. Let us see, this is the first example where it says that a vessel underway would be expected to keep clear of a vessel at anchor. If you don't understand what is underway meaning, I have already made a video, underway versus making way. So just check out that video so you will have a clear idea what does a vessel underway means. So a vessel underway would be expected to keep clear of a vessel at anchor. You can see this is a chain. Obviously a vessel which is moving, she has to understand that a vessel which cannot move because she is at anchor, so she is expected to basically keep clear, because a anchored vessel will take some time. It will take some time to prepare her engines or anchor stations to come for preparing the heaving up of anchor, so it will take time. So that is why it is a ordinary practice of seamen that a vessel underway has to keep clear, or she is expected to keep clear of a vessel at anchor. Let us see now in this part. Here I have said vessel underway, but there is also one more term which is a vessel underway and stopped. So in this situation also, a vessel which is underway and stopped must not rely on other vessels keeping out of her way unless she is an NUC. Okay, if you are stopped, you are underway but you are stopped, so that doesn't mean that you will expect other vessels to keep clear. That is not what is expected from you. If you are underway and stopped, you still have engines at your disposal, so you still can navigate. So these vessels which are underway and stopped, they should not rely on other vessels keeping out of the way unless she is an NUC. NUC, let's say if her engine fails, she is an NUC, so then it's a different topic. So this was the first example. Let us go to more examples. The second example is when a vessel anchors, she must do so without endangering other vessels which may be navigating close by. Now let's say this is a vessel, there are a lot of anchored vessels, and this vessel is also going to anchor, so she must do so without endangering other vessels which may be navigating or which may be already anchored. So it is an ordinary practice of seamen. Next, going into the third point, that is in dense fog, a vessel without operational radar may not be justified in being underway at all, but should anchor if it is safe and is practicable for her to do so. So it is a dense fog, her radar is inoperational, so it is a good practice of seamen that she goes and anchors till the radar becomes operational. So this is one of the example. Now next example is when two vessels are approaching one another at a difficult bend in a tidal river. It has been held to be duty of one having the tide against her to wait until the other has passed. Now let's say in this tidal river, one vessel will have following current, the other vessel will have against current. So the vessel which has the tide against her, she has to wait, because she has the control, she has the tide against her, she has the control of the vessel. But the vessel which has a following current, she doesn't have much control as compared to the other vessel. So that is why the vessel which has the tide against her, she has to wait. This is a ordinary practice of seamen. She has to wait so that the other vessel which has the following current, she will pass clear. So this is ordinary practice of seamen. Let us go to another example. Another example is the effects of shallow water must be taken into account. When two vessels are there and you are in a narrow channel, there are a lot of shallow water effects. There are a lot of effects like bank cushion and squat. So all this has to be taken into consideration, and interaction of the vessels, interaction between the vessels, everything has to be taken into consideration as a ordinary practice of seamen while you are taking any action to avoid collision. Next example is keep clear of pilot boarding grounds. Now it is ordinary practice of seamen again that if you see this kind of symbol in your EGDIS, you have to avoid this pilot boarding grounds, because definitely there will be some another vessel which will be coming to pick up or drop pilot. So this is also a ordinary practice of seamen. The next example, here I will show you the head-on situation and fishing vessels around. Now here you can see there are two vessels, they are on a head-on situation, they both are power driven vessels, but as soon as they are approaching, you see there are a lot of fishing vessels. Let's say our this vessel is the own vessel, this vessel is the target vessel, and all this pink are the fishing vessels. Now, as per rule 2, as per ordinary practice of seamen, as per good seamanship, it is the responsibility of the own vessel to reduce her speed. Okay, and once she reduces her speed, she allows the target vessel to come out of the dense fishing traffic, and she alters her course to starboard, well clear of the own vessel. And own vessel, since she has reduced her speed, she will wait for the target vessel to come out and keep well clear, and then only the own vessel will enter into the her path or her track. So this also comes under ordinary practice of seamanship. Next situation, we will take overtaking in TSS. TSS means traffic separation scheme. So here is the situation. Here you can see this is the target vessel, this is the own vessel. Now here you can see that own vessel is intending to overtake her from her starboard side. But is it the right decision? No. Why? Because in this situation, the target vessel will be altering her course to starboard, and since she will be altering her course to starboard, she will be coming near to the own vessel which is overtaking her. So here in this situation, as a good practice of seamanship, the own vessel has to overtake the target vessel from the port side and not from the starboard side. So this is a good practice of seamanship. Now, these are the total 8 examples I have given to explain you what does the ordinary practice of seamanship means. Let us proceed further. Now, since we have understood this ordinary practice of seamen and the special circumstances, now we will understand the next part of this rule. The next part of this rule is paragraph B. Here in this you can see, in construing and complying with these rules, the first word which comes here is construing. And in construing as a dictionary term means, construing means interpreting. Okay, so this is the word interpret. This is the word what does the construing means. So in construing means in interpreting and complying with these rules, due regard shall be had to all dangers of navigation and collision. Now the second term comes here is, while you interpret and comply with these rules, you have to have due regard shall be had to all dangers of navigation and collision. Now let us understand this term, dangers of navigation and collision. Here, dangers of navigation and collision, in this I will again introduce two vessels. They both are power driven vessels on a head-on situation, and let me introduce a shallow water on the starboard side. Now as per rule 14, I have to alter course to starboard as per head-on situation. But since there is a shallow patch on my starboard side, what this shallow patch is known as is that it is a danger of navigation. It is dangerous to navigation. Okay, so in this situation, rule 2b, it allows me to depart from the normal rules, that is head-on situation. And let's say if I say dangers of collision, there are two parts, dangers of navigation and dangers of collision. So if it was a shallow patch, it was danger for navigation, but if it is a vessel, it is danger of collision. Okay, in simple terms. So let us again understand, since we are clear with this term dangers of navigation and collision, basically two parts, dangers of navigation and dangers of collision. These both scenarios we can understand very clearly from this sample examples. Now, after understanding what does danger of navigation and dangers of collision means, now we go to the other part, that is to any special circumstances including limitations of the vessels involved. So to understand this limitations of the vessels involved, I will take you to a situation where this is a own vessel, this is a loaded VLCC which is slow steaming, and I have a overtaking vessel which is on my starboard beam. In this situation, this is a special circumstance Okay, this is a special circumstance because there is a limitations of the vessel involved. This loaded VLCC, it is slow steaming. So if even if she start altering her course, she will be, her rate of turn will be very less. So I have to understand, as own vessel, I have to understand the limitation of my vessel as well as the limitation of other vessel, and based on this situation, as per rule 2b, I have to make a departure from this rule and I have to give broad alteration to port. This situation also I encountered in my chief mate orals, and same situation the surveyor had given me, where he has given me this loaded VLCC very near 1 mile and overtaking again very near to my vessel, let's say half a cable, and they asked me what you will do. I, without even thinking, I just answered him, as per rule 2b, I will give broad alteration to port side. So this is how a special circumstance where I have to understand the limitation of the other vessel also. This is how you will take a action. Now, moving further, what is the conclusion? Since we have understood, we have gone into all the parts of all the words, all the sections of rule 2, what do we learn from this rule 2? So conclusion is the first point. In short, rule 2 of COLREGS asks seafarers to follow ROR, but while following this ROR, it cannot be an excuse for collision. If you are on a head-on situation, if you end up colliding with other vessel on a starboard side, then you cannot be excused. You have to use common sense at that time. That is what it means. Let us go to second point. Ordinary practice of seamen means use of common sense. Third point, rule 2a requires that we also need to take precautions while complying with this COLREGS. So I have given total 8 examples where we have to take precautions, or we have to understand ordinary practice of seamanship, and we have to take the action accordingly. That is what rule 2a says. What about rule 2b? Rule 2b allows us to make a departure from COLREGS provided there are two things. First, there should be an immediate danger, and after considering limitations of the vessel, as we saw in the example of VLCC. So after considering the limitation of the vessel, that is the best way to avoid immediate danger. So considering these 2 points, you are allowed to make a departure from COLREGS. And the fifth point is, after immediate danger is clear, vessel to return back to normal compliance or to complying with COLREGS. She has to return back to her normal rules. You have to comply with COLREGS once the immediate danger is clear. So I hope that all your doubts have been clear of rule 2. I hope you don't have any doubts. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment below, and if you like this video, please like, subscribe and comment. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for watching.